פרק ט"ז, פסוק י"ב. תועבת מלכים לעשות רשע. It is an abomination for a king, for someone to do bad. We could, בצדקה ייכון כיסא, because with tzedakah, with righteousness, yes, ייכון כיסא, his throne is established, is strong. So the Gaon says something very straightforward. He says that the king, the melachim, the kings in general, whoever breaks the law and does things that is considered like rishut to the justice system of the kingdom, it's considered an abomination. Yeah. Why? Because the king puts rules in place. You deliberately break the rules. That means you're confronting the king and with chutzpah, and you're belittling his the right word is his authority. On the other end, when his people do tzedakah, they follow they follow the rules, so his kingdom becomes more powerful, and people value this king because they say, look how strong he is, look how beloved he is. Everybody follows, follows his laws.
Does the Gaon compare the Melech to
No,
anybody else?
no, he doesn't. But it's obvious that refers to any authority. Yes, as a father, as a boss, as a yes. As long as the rules and the protocol is b'tzedek. Yes, obviously. If not, you're a dictator. It's dictatorship. The other pshat, how to read this pasuk, is not that it is an abomination to the king when he sees others misbehave. It's an abomination. It's an abomination to himself when he's misbehaving, right? And however, a king that misbehaves, he's destroying himself. So yeah. However, if he behaves b'tzedakah, that's what strengthened his position. People love him. People respect him. People protect him. People are willing to die for him. Are willing to sacrifice themselves for him. Yeah, soldiers, etc. But when the king is misbehaving and he's mean and he's a rasha, then all he's doing is undermining his position and his royalty. Pasuk Yud Gimel. Yud Bet and Yud Gimel, they come together. Retzon Melachim Sifte Tzedek. The king.
Andy's joining in 5 minutes.
בסדר, okay, no problem. Well, רצון מלכים שפתי צדק. Yes, the kings favor the truthful, people that are truthful, that speak the truth. ודבר ישרים יאהב, ודובר ישרים יאהב. And whoever speaks honesty is loved. So says the Gaon, רצון מלכים. What is רצון מלכים? ואותם המדברים תמיד זכות על חבריהם. You know who finds favor in the eyes of kings? Those who always speak in favor of their friends. They always find something good to say. In the contrary of probably most people, that everybody, when you hear something good about someone, the nature of people is say, yeah, you know, he's good, but, and they always find something to say. Usually the reason, unless the person really is a bad person and it's a mitzvah to speak and to prevent others from mirshol, from being hurt by that person. Yes, the reason why a person will speak negative or add a little bit of a negative tone to the about the person is because usually they're scared, yeah, that in their mind when you talk about good about someone else it belittles them. Yes, so they feel belittled, they feel vulnerable. So because they feel vulnerable, they need to recreate a balance, an equilibrium. So they're gonna take down the guy. Yeah, he's great, but not so great. Yeah, and that brings down now the kavod or the value of that person, and brings back to level, yes, himself in the conversation. Yeah, that's usually why people uh, tend to always find something not great to say about someone when they hear something good being said about the person. So that's the instinct and the way most people behave. However, says Shlomo HaMelech, that when a person speaks good and speaks in favor of others, yes, and naturally he will always find the positive to say, to speak about others, automatically he opens the heart of the Melech, of the king, and the king will also always favor him. Yes? Like, oh, it's midah keneged midah. When you see good, then Hashem sees good in you. When you always see bad, then במידה שאדם מודד, כך מודדים לו. Right? Hashem judges or addresses a person the same way the person addresses others. So that's רצון מלכים שפתי צדק. בפסוק י"ג. כן? רצון מלכים שפתי צדק. ודובר ישרים יאהב. Now the ones that are yashar, straight, that are truthful, that say the emet, as difficult as it is, yes, they will address the emet and say it, even when it's painful, and when they may be exposing themselves to problems or to challenges. Ye'ehav. Hashem loves them. The person that puts above himself the emet is loved by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because chotamo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu emet. Yes, the seal of royalty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world is the emet. So when you when you prevail the emet, and the emet is more important than yourself, yes, then at that point that means the royalty of Hakadosh Baruch Hu it comes before you, even at the level of sacrifice. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu says, this is how much you're willing, you love me. This is how much you're willing to sacrifice yourself for me. That triggers Ahavat Hashem. Okay, so if you will, yes, we find in those two pesukim Yud Bet and Yud Gimel, yes, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, yes, or the king or the authority, yes, is disgusted by misbehavior, by resha, and is prevailing tzedek, is respecting tzedek, but that tzedek, when it is translated into emet, and because tzedek is justice, you can behave b'tzedek, but sometimes it's hard to say the emet. Yes, so to say the emet is an extra step. To do tzedek, to do justice. Yes, essentially you're protected by what's just. When you say the emet, you're exposing yourself. So who do you rely on? You rely on Hakadosh Baruch Hu shechotamo emet. If it's just, it's just. Yes, the tzedek will always be a shield of protection, because that's logic. When you do what's right, you do what's right. You cannot be hurt. People can take advantage. Yes, and it might seem to be unfair, but at the end, you did the right thing. To say the emet is another level of dedication to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. It's, yeah, willing to sacrifice yourself and put yourself in a place of vulnerability for the sake of the emet. Sometimes you jeopardize relationships, businesses, opportunities, gains. Yeah, the emet can be very painful. Can be very, very painful. Says Shlomo HaMelech b'Chidush, a person that is willing to sacrifice for the emet will end up by gaining. Why? Because he now triggers the Ahavat Hashem. And the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu equals to all the extras that we are not supposed to get. Yeah? When we serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu mi'irah, and we can only get when we serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu mi'ahava. So imagine, yes? You understand the difference? For example, I'll give you a bold difference, which is incredible because we learned it this morning at the end of Parashat Ekev. We're a little bit late in the parasha, but it's okay. So the Malbim brings there a major difference between Avodah Me'irah and Avodah Me'ahava. Avodah Me'irah, when you fear Hashem, then you have the zchut of Eretz Israel, but Eretz Israel will be niknet through wars, and but you'll have what it takes, yes, and through the limitations of the land that it is like it is brought in Sefer Devarim. However, when you serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu me'ahava, yes, all the portion of the land, which is the Keni, the Kenizi, Bnei Aron, Edom, yes, all those parcels of lands that we are not benefiting from today, yes, if we serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu me'ahava, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring them to us. Meaning our land extends itself. If we don't serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu me'ahava, but we serve mi'irah, we don't have the benefit of that land. And we have to wait until Mashiach comes for us to benefit from that land. Aram Naharaim, Aram Sova, right? Which essentially is what David HaMelech tried to conquer. He conquered Syria and all that area. Lebanon, all this area was conquered under the Malchut David Melech Israel. But because it was Meirah, and because he didn't conquer totally Eretz Israel, the Kedusha of Eretz Israel could not expand, yes, to that land and turn that land into Eretz Israel on a level of Kedusha. What is the nafkamina? Of Trumot U'Maasrot. Yes, the fruits that grow in Aram Naharaim or Aram Sova are fruits you have to do Trumot U'Maasrot like in Eretz Israel or not? Okay. So this is the difference between Ahava and Yirah. Yeah. So here Shlomo HaMelech, I don't know if it's a loophole, but addresses now a way to benefit from Ahavat Hashem. What does it mean to benefit from Ahavat Hashem? Extras that you are not supposed to benefit from Al Pidin, if you serve Hashem Me'ira. Yeah? How do you get that? Through the dedication of Midat HaEmet. Through the dedication, the dedication of speaking the Emet. We did find one uh, place in the Torah where there's no mitzvah. I mean, but that you have to speak emet, but there's no mitzvah to speak the emet. It's when the emet yes, undermines your shalom bait. That doesn't mean you have to say sheker, but you don't have to say the emet. If the emet, yes, will end up deteriorating your shalom bait. So what are you doing? All you're doing is creating a seizure between husband and wife, which in itself undermines the purpose of creation. So the emet cannot go and undermine the purpose of creation. The emet is supposed to reinforce creation, yes, to be the foundation, the yikon kise, the base, yes, the grounding of the kise akavod, right? And the kise akavod is the shalom bayit. So when there's no shalom bayit, so what's the yesod for? For nothing, yeah. So that's the only place in the Torah where you can refrain yourself from saying the emet, because it is a direct threat to the purpose of creation. Yes, like you say something by destroying something else. That doesn't work. But so ודובר ישרים, כן, ודובר ישרים יאהב. Yes.
What about speaking the emet when, for example, in an angry situation, you know that the other people won't hear you? You also have to shut your mouth.
It depends if it's tochacha. I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean in an angry situation?
When a person is angry, it said that the person will not hear what you say.
Yes, they said that. No, but that doesn't mean that you don't say the emet. It's just this, that it's not the proper moment. You have to wait until it comes down.
Okay.
It's not because you. It's not that you don't say the emet. It's just that he cannot listen. So you're wasting a bullet.
Okay.
That's different.
It's the moment.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Pasuk Yudalet. Hamat melech malachei mavet. The anger of the king, yeah, brings the angels of death, or if you will, the soldiers of death, yes, the army of death. The ish hacham ichaperena, but a wise man can appease that. So says Shlomo Mohammed, says the Gaon. Usually, when a king is very angry, he sends an army to fight, yes, and to kill. He sends a delegation of soldiers to punish. And usually, when the anger is fierce, the wrath of the king is only translated into death. However, there's a way to appease that anger. It's through the ish chacham. Yes. Why? Because the chokhmah of the chacham gives the ability to the chacham to penetrate the heart of the angry king and atone that anger. Says the Gaon Vilna. This is applied, כמובן, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees that the Bnei Israel, yes, are misbehaving, yes, and lo alenu, the anger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is rising, the wrath of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is expressed. So he hands over the I don't want to say the freedom, but the ability to the Malach HaMavet to go, yes, and do what he has to do. However, when there is a Ish Chacham, when there is amongst Am Yisrael somebody that is Chacham, or in a Kehillah, or in an environment, among them there's somebody that is Chacham, Yechaperena, the Chokhmah and the Tzidkut of the Chacham, yeah, will appease that anger. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves the Chokhmah of the Chacham. And therefore, when he's about to send his Shlichim, he says the Gaon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes an assessment of the Kahal, or the community, and boom, and then he gets in front of that Chacham. There's the Chacham. Now I cannot do. Because if I send the Malach HaMavet, he doesn't make no difference. The Malach HaMavet will wipe everybody. Yes, when like we found, yes, in the Makat Bechorot, the Malach could not differentiate between the Bechorei Israel and Bechorei Mitzrayim. That's why Kadosh Baruch Hu gave a bypass. He said, "You're going to take the dam and you're going to put it around the mezuzot, and that will be the sign." Why did we need a sign? The Ran in the Drashot explained, because when the Malach Hamavet is sent out of anger, he doesn't make a difference. That's why Chachamim say, Oy la Rasha, the Oy Shcheno. It's terrible for the Rasha and for the one that lives next to the Rasha, even if he's a tzaddik. Because the Malach cannot make a difference. So, when Akadosh Baruch Hu needs to send, Lo Aleinu Gzera, before he sends the Gezerah, if there is a Chacham, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees the Chacham awakes Hashem's love for that Chacham, and that automatically appeases the anger. Who tried and revealed, yes, that mechanism? That's an easy one. Come on. Avraham Avinu. Yes? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the Malachim to destroy Sodom, Avraham Avinu holds back. He said, 1 second, maybe there is 50 tzaddikim, maybe there's 40, maybe 45, 40, 30, yeah, until there was no minyan. And then, he let go. Okay? So what do we see? We see that if you have tzaddikim, yes, amongst the reshaim, yes, normally, the tzidkut of the chacham, the ahava that the Akadosh Baruch Hu has for the chacham, will automatically atone and appease the anger of Akadosh Baruch Hu. This is why, yes, we want to be always around Talmidei Chachamim. We want to live, well, we want to make sure that we have Talmidei Chachamim around us, because we are protected by the shield of Chokhmah and Ahavat Hashem. And he brings the midrash, okay, of Zohar that we brought in the past, that when a king is upset, yes, or a man is very upset, how do you appease him? What's the best way of appeasing somebody very upset? We learned it in the past.
To please him.
Yeah,
Words.
how do you,
Words?
no,
Asking
you,
to forgive.
no, you
What is
bring
there?
him his son, his little baby. Remember that? You bring him child. Yes, we saw it in the past. You bring him his child. The person can be angry, can be upset. The second he sees his little boy, yes, the love for the boy calms him down, and he takes the boy and he loves him, and suddenly the mood changes. That doesn't mean he's gonna be happy, super happy, but he's no longer as angry as he was. The same thing applies to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And the Chacham is like the son of that person that's angry. Yes, which is interesting, because that gives us also a way to kind of also learn to control ourselves. If chas v'chalila or chas v'shalom, a person is angry, yes, then he knows in his way it's very difficult, yes, at that moment. However, if he wants, if he starts, if teaches himself, like, and trains himself to think about his beloved one, his children, yes, that should appease his own anger. So that's a technique on how to learn to master and control your anger. Think about your child, think about the ones you love, and it helps. Good. Pasuk Tedvav. Be'or pene melech chaim. Okay? When there is light, meaning there is happiness, there is a happy face on the king, it gives life. ורצונו כאב מלקוש, and his will is like a cloud of rain during the spring. Malkosh is the spring. Says the Gaon, simple. When the king is happy, everybody benefits. When the king is happy, everybody enjoys. Yes, everything goes well. And what type of happiness, yes, does his surrounding benefit from? Meaning, what is the benefit that his surrounding gets from the happiness of the king? Ke'av malkosh. He says that when there is spring rain, the rain of Nisan, for example, yes, which is late in the season, right? Nisan is usually April, end of April. So it's late rains. Now all the grains and the wheat, etc., is already full. It grew, and it's ready to be. It's ripe. Says Chachamim say that the that rain makes the grain, become shamen, become a little bit thicker, yes, and more juicy. It's a better quality. So it's a bracha, yes, it's an enhancement to what the grain is already when there is rain in Nisan. Yes, it upgrades the produce. So too, when the king is happy, yes, it upgrades what you have. It upgrades your effort. It upgrades your own outcome. It takes what you're supposed to benefit from and elevate it to another level. He says the following. Now he takes that concept and he says, we know that in the Avodat Hashem is broken into two. You have Torah and Tefillah. Tefillah including also the mitzvot, but it's essentially you have Torah and Tefillah. And what's the difference between the two? Torah is the penimiut, is the essence, is the hidden light, yes, that the person benefits from when he learns the Torah. It enlightens his neshama. The tefillah is klape chutz. You pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yes, you expose your emotion, your need, your dependence. So that's klape chutz. So says Shlomo HaMelech, Be'or Penei Melech Chaim, whoever benefits from the light of the king, meaning from the light of the Torah, whoever benefits from the beracha of learning Torah, and it's the light of the Torah, benefits from the secrets of the Torah, which is from within, then that brings life. What type of life? The Netzach, that's Chaim, that is real Chaim, the Chaim Netzach, the infinite life in Olam Haba. Why? As Chaim Hila Mahazikim Ba. Who benefits from the tree of life? The one that supports it, the one that supports the Torah, the one that learned the Torah, that's connected to the Torah. That's Be'or Penei Melech Chaim. Retzono. And how do you trigger the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his ratzon? Like we say all the time, Yehi ratzon milefanecha, Yehi ratzon milefanecha, right? How do we trigger the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his desire, his favor? That's through the tefillah. That's tefillah and mitzvot. And that's compared to the cloud of Nisan, to the cloud of the spring. Why? Because when you pray, yes, you pray for an outcome. Usually when somebody prays, it's because he needs something or because he wants to show dependence. Yes, but that essentially is for a certain outcome. Just like the rain of the spring that comes to trigger a change in the outcome. You already have the produce, you already have the grains. It's just a matter of weeks before you cut it, and comes the rain and enhances that product. When you pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you awake his favor, you awake his will to enhance the outcome or a specific outcome. Refuah, shidduch, simcha, shalom bayit, parnasa tova. Yes, you ask for an enhancement of something that is already existing. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad to you. If you think you're missing, or you think you don't have enough, or you think you deserve more. The point is that the tefillah is coming to create an enhancement, an addition to something that is already existing. The Torah is not that. The Torah is coming to give you something that you can only benefit in the Olam HaEmet. It's the Chaim. And the major difference between the two is that Tefillah is finite, is limited. Because if there is an outcome, then the outcome is paid in this world, right? Something that is relative to this world. So it's limited, right? To time and location and moment. Where the Limud Torah, the light of the Torah, is infinite. Because the benefit of the light of the Torah cannot be shared, yeah, essentially in this world. So when do you benefit from the light of the Torah? After 120. That's the Olam HaEmet, that's the Olam Haba that you develop, that you build. So again, Tefillah, yes, enhances your life in this world through triggering favor in the eyes of Hashem and His will. And the Torah that you learn builds your Olam Haba, builds your Olam HaEmet, builds your Chaye Netzach through the light of the Torah that you bring out through your learning. Every time you learn Torah, you bring out a light. That light is hidden in the letters of the Torah, in the Chokhmat Torah. So the more you learn and the deeper you learn, and the more you reveal that light cannot shine in this world because it's all spiritual. The Torah is all spiritual. So where do you see and benefit that light that you brought to the world, that you created, that you crystallized through your learning? In the Olam HaEmet, in the world that is all spiritual. There you then benefit from all that light. Ken? Yeah? We have time for one more pasuk? And you can stop here whatever you want. Okay. So, Keno chokhmah matov mecharutz. When you acquire wisdom, when you acquire chokhmah, how great it is than gold. Uknot bina, and when you acquire bina, discernment, nivhar mikesef, is more valuable than silver. So here he brings a little bit of a Kabbalistic concept, which is not too difficult, but I'll explain. Essentially, it's hidden in the beginning of Sefer HaYetzirah, in one word, which we're not going to go into, okay? But the Sefer HaYetzirah says, Lamed Bet Pelaot. There's 32 Pelaot. Pelaot means netivot. Pele is something that is incredible, something that's hidden, okay? We have to understand that the Chokhmah can only come down to the world and reveal itself through Binah. It has to go inside the Binah, and through the Binah it shines. Because the Chokhmah in itself, yes, when it's alone, it is defined as unity in its most simplest form, perfection. And since no human being can grasp the perfect concept of one, we can relate to it, we can try to understand it, but to really grasp what one means, we can't, because it's not something that we are exposed to. Anything you're gonna try to refer to as one is murkav, is built from something else. Yes, there's nothing that is one except for Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And the chokhmah by nature, yes, it is the ability to relate to that one. So chokhmah without bina is not something intellectually we can grasp. This is what the Chachamim tried to reveal when they went to the Pardes, yes, and we know what happened, yes. So for that reason, yes, the chokhmah needs to go through a buffer, through a mixer. That mixer is called the Binah. The Binah now takes the Chokhmah and breaks it down, discerns it, yes, and creates differences and differentiation in order for us individuals that can only understand unity as combination of other essences that are together as one. Yes, so the bina, if you will, is the program, yes, that translates the code for us to understand. Say that the
I have a,
chokhmah. Yeah.
I have a question. Isn't the Binah created out of the Chokhmah which we acquire?
Oh, very good. 1 second. No. Yeah, yes, and no. 1 second. That's we're gonna get no bina of its end. Bina cannot exist without chokhmah because the bina, yes, gets the chokhmah and is enhanced by the chokhmah and brings down the chokhmah in its own version of the bina. Yes, but the chokhmah in itself is chokhmah of its own. Now it's true what you're saying, and we're gonna maybe I'll address it. Maybe I'll address it. That bina also exists within the chokhmah. Why? Because if the chokhmah is the full concept of unity, yes, it's one per excellence, and bina exists by default. Bina must be in chokhmah also, because everything is included in the chokhmah. Yes, so you're right that bina must be in the chokhmah. Yes, but bina cannot exist without chokhmah. You understand? The bina is the mechanism that translates the Yehuda Achdut, the perfect unity, into something that's graspable, understandable to our mind. Good. So says now that we understand that, and we understand that Chokhmah needs to coexist and reside within the bina for us to relate to it. So by default, Chokhmah is hidden. Hidden where? Inside the Binah. Yeah. So says Shlomo HaMelech, when you address the Chokhmah and acquire Chokhmah, just like you address the gold. Gold is not, although now they just changed it, I think in Texas, I'm not sure, Well, but now gold gold by default is not a commodity that you can buy and sell with. It's you own it. You trade it in big numbers as value. Yes, this is how you build your wealth, your securities. But you don't go and pay with gold. What do you pay with? You pay with silver coins. Gold you own and you put in your safe. Yes, and that's all. The gold, so by default, is always hidden. I just saw this week, I don't know where, or maybe somebody told me that now I think in Texas you can now pay with gold coins. It became a regular. It's like a monetary. Like you have Bitcoin. You can pay with
Currency.
It's a currency. It became a currency. It became a currency. But by nature, gold is not something you bring out and you trade. So kno chokhmah, when you really acquire chokhmah, and when you acquire chokhmah, you acquire it for yourself. It's hidden. It's something that resides within you. Yes, it's your treasure. It's your wealth. It's your security. Matov mecharutz. How better it is than just gold, because gold may be a security financially, yes, but it comes with a lot of headaches and issues. That's the chokhmah, the approach to chokhmah. Okay, uknot bina nivhar mikasef, and when you acquire bina, yes, it's better than coins, than silver. Kesef, they're coins. Kesef, everybody wants it. Why? Because that's how you trade. That's how commerce work. Yes, you exchange things, and that's how the world evolves. It evolves with that money. Says the Gaon the same thing. When you have bina, yes, the bina allows you to exchange your chokhmah and gain chokhmah. This is how you interact. This is how you grow. Yes, as a whole, as a community, through your bina. So your chokhmah is your wealth and your security, and your bina is what you use in order to interact and transfer information and gain information, just like the coins. So says the Gaon, Shlomo Melech hints us with something beautiful. If you pay attention to the pasuk, he says, "Kano chokhmah matov." Kno is lashon yachid. Chokhmah is the achdut, right? It represents the perfect of unity, so it's one. But the bina is about discernment, right? Organization, breaking down. So that's why he said, "Uknot bina" in plural. Nivhar mikasef. Yes, the bina, you acquire it through many different facets, but the chokhmah is acquired as one. If the chokhmah, if you want to acquire it, if you want to be one with it, if you want to own it, it has to always be one. No matter what you learn, at the end, it's one chokhmah. Everything fits, everything connects, and everything stems from the Ehad of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Where the Binah, yes, is many different facets, many different approaches, many different languages, many different variations, all of them, so that we as intellectuals can relate in many different ways or in our own way to that chokhmah. Yes, so all those different openings and variations allow us to connect to that one. Okay? טוב, okay. So we just finished Pasuk Tet Zayin.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
טוב,
Thank you very much.
נסיעה
Spectacular.
טובה,
Thank you.
בשורות טובות for everybody.